Welcome back to the channel. On today's episode, we will be repairing the rear window sill. Most buses have this rust problem, and as you can see, it turned out wonderfully. If you're interested in this kind of repair content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel as we do have new episodes every Sunday and Wednesday. And if you'd like to see how I repaired this windowsill, make sure to check out that previous episode. For this repair, I will be using a pre-bent piece as I'm not silly enough to believe that I could bend it myself. I got it from Heritage Car Parts. It's not super cheap, but it's worth it. In order to complete the repair, you will need the mounting strip. And I was thinking that I'd be able to reuse mine, but upon closer inspection, I think I'm gonna need a new one. So I went ahead and ordered that from CIP1. I think I got the last two in stock. So my windowsill was pitted pretty badly. I figured I would cut along this line here as that's where the rust seemed to finish, and that would also be above the spot welds on the inside. I also wanted to see how much of the original metal I could save, so I used my finger sander and a little bit of navel jelly to see how badly this was really rusted, and it turned out it wasn't too bad. I then used one of my favorite tools, which is the carbide disc, to remove any of the excess rust and also so that I could see where the clean metal ended. And I was just about ready to cut out the panel. But before I'd be able to cut it out, I wanted to drill out all the spot welds, which were thankfully very easy to see from the inside. Now, since I'm going to be welding the spot welds again from the inside, it didn't matter if I drilled all the way through, so I just used a 1/4" drill bit and drilled them all out. Now, some of them were a little close together. It seems like whoever spot welded these really went ham on them. I then got to cutting out the rusted section, and using a little spatula, I kind of snapped out what remaining spot welds were holding it together. Once all my spot welds were out, I was able to remove the piece as a whole. And then there's this piece, which I don't know what it is. If you know what it's for, leave a comment down below, but I'm not going to use it. My plan at this moment was to use the piece I've cut off to trace onto the replacement panel, but I wasn't so certain it was going to fit how I wanted to, so I decided I was going to cut right along this row of spot welds instead. So I marked my line with some tape, and I got to cutting it out. Now, I just figured it'd be easier to weld on this flat section as opposed to welding upwards, and that's why I decided to cut it out this far. I cleaned off the excess paint with my carbide disc, and then it was time to move on to the next step. Of course, cleaning off where you're going to have metal sandwiched together is a very important step, and well, there was still some rust here that I decided I was going to cut out before I created my patch piece. Now with my pieces cut off, it was time to do a little bit of tracing, a bit of measuring, and a bit of praying. Because you only get one chance to cut this, and cut it too small, which I've done in the past, you're not going to have a good time, so measure, measure, and measure again. To cut the bottom part of this replacement piece, I will be using a technique I've never used before, and it's essentially that you clamp it together and then you run the cutoff wheel slightly at an angle so that you cut up into the piece, and then in theory it will fit perfectly flush once it's all cut off. If you enjoy this kind of content, don't forget to leave a comment, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Every comment you leave down below helps in the algorithm, and we all know YouTube is all about the algorithm. Hope you guys enjoy my content. I'm doing my best to work as often as I can on the bus. This was done in the last 2 days, and I've been just working on the video, but I enjoyed doing this. Hope it gave you guys some insight on what it takes to do this kind of repair. And well, I didn't have enough time to spot weld the inside, but you kind of get the idea. Spot weld the inside, but look how beautiful this came out. Thanks for watching. We're all out of time, so I'll see you in the next one.